Shalom Yasha is brother Pathat. That'd be key, but in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And it's going to be a quick video just going into how Satan is going to be bringing greater wrath upon the earth in these latter days because he knows that he has a short time, right? And we know the so-called white man is operating in the spirit of Satan, right? In the spirit of the devil, right? And they understand through the spirit, right, that they have but a short time left, man, right? And that's why they're gonna come against the Israelites with great wrath, right? And ultimately, it's the Lord putting on the spirits to do these things. But that's why we see these mass shootings, right? That's why we see all these things coming to pass, right? And I really wanted to deal with this specific article, right? And then through the spirit, we're gonna kind of go into it. Before we go into it, though, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, and the name of his only begotten Son, who the world will ignorantly call Jesus Christ, but we know him as Yahweh Shai in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, right? And this is from a website called Al Jazeera, right? And it says, Great Replacement, the conspiracy theory stoking racist violence, right? And we're going to go into this thing, right? And it says, roots of white supremacist conspiracy theory are not new. But it says, but experts say Great Replacement has become mainstream, right? And it says a manifesto linked to the gunman who carried out a deadly attack at a supermarket in the predominantly black neighborhood of Buffalo, New York, mentioned the Great Replacement theory, right? And let's dive into this article. It says it has been linked to mass shootings in the United States, Canada, and New Zealand. Right-wing politicians and media figures have parroted its ideas, and experts say it's becoming increasingly mainstream, right? And it says, in this week, U.S. President Joe Biden explicitly denounced the so-called Great Replacement conspiracy theory as hateful fuel for deadly violence, right? And I want to kind of go down. This is what I want to get to, right? The fact that the damn white devil that came to Buffalo, right, which is the city that I'm from, and killed 10 Israelites, right, in the tops, right? It was all because of this theory, right? And it's kind of spiritual, because the theory that I'm gonna read it, right? We're just gonna read it. It says a manifesto that U.S. media outlets linked to the accused Buffalo shooter, who authorities have said specifically targeted the area in a racist anti-black hate crime, right? Repeatedly referenced the Great Replacement theory, right? So this man that did this the shooting, right, this mass shooting at the tops, right? He did it because of this Great Replacement theory, right? And we're gonna read about it. It says the white supremacist conspiracy falsely asserts, right, that white people are being replaced, right, and losing their standing in society as a result of a plot to increase non-white immigration, as well as other factors, including birth rates among non-white people. So the theory is going into how Esau is feeling like they're basically about to be wiped out of the face of the earth, right? And on a deeper level, they actually are, right? So that's how you know he's operating the spirit of Satan, right? Because that theory in a way is almost correct, because the so-called white man is going to be exterminated from off the face of the earth, right? And the Lord is kind of foreshadowing these things, right, through them having less birth rates and things of that matter. And it says, while experts have said the ideology underpinning the conspiracy is not new, nor is it confined to the U.S., they have warned in the aftermath of the killings in Buffalo that the Great Replacement Salakia theory now holds a prominent place in mainstream discourse, right? Meaning a lot of other so-called white supremacists could take onto that, or probably people that wasn't even a so-called supremacist as of yet. They can read about this Great Replacement theory, and they could kind of get in there, man. Next thing you know, they doing a shooting, right? And it kind of keeps, the cycle can continue going on and on, right? So that's what that's going into. And I want to go to, that's all I really wanted to read from that article, and I want to go here, right? It says, so this is the Great Replacement in Wikipedia, right? So it says the Great Replacement, also known as the Replacement theory, is a white nationalist far-right conspiracy theory disseminated by French author Renaud Camus. The original theory states that the complicity or cooperation of replaces elites. White European populations are being demographically and culturally replaced with non-whites people. So basically, the so-called white men feel like they're being replaced on this earth, right? And it says, Salaki, reading on, it says, especially from Muslim majority countries through mass migration, demographic growth, and a drop in birth rate of through mass immigration, demographic growth, and a drop in birth rate of white Europeans. So the so-called white men feel like, well, it's actually true. It's a fact, right? They're not bearing as many kids, right, as the other nations, right? And it says since then, similar claims have been advanced in other national contexts, notably in the United States. Mainstream scholars have dismissed these claims as rooted in misunderstanding of demographic statistics and premised upon unscientific racist worldview, right? And I want to kind of go on down. It was something I was reading a little earlier. That's what I wanted to go to. White genocide conspiracy theory. It says the white genocide, white extinction. You see that? It says the white genocide, white extinction, and that's why I said this is kind of spiritual, right? The way that the so-called white man is feeling as if they're about to be exterminated and extinct. It's spiritual because they actually are going to be extinct according to the Bible, right? Let's get that real fast. Through the spirit. Because I was only going to pull one scripture, but through the spirit, we're going to bring this out, right? Because Esau is going to be extinct, right? So this is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 9. It reads, and thy mighty men, O Taman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Right, so every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. Let's go to verse 18. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua have spoken it. Right, so this is actually Bible prophecy that they're literally going to be extinct. Right, and that's how these white supremacists, they fail. Right, and these Salakia, these elites, they understand this. You understand? Right, and it's all the Most High God foreshadowing the actual fact that they're literally going to be extinct. Right, so it says the white genocide, white extinction, or white replacement conspiracy theory is a white supremacist conspiracy theory. And this is not a conspiracy theory, right? They're literally slowly but surely being replaced, man. Right? It says, Salakia, which states that there is a deliberate plot often blamed on Jews to promote miscegenation, Salakia for the pronunciation, interracial marriage, mass non-white immigration, racial interrogation, low fertility rates, abortion, right? So now they're scared because their women are having a high rate of abortion, right? Their women are laying down with the so-called black men, right? And their women are having low fertility rates. You understand? So this is why these supremacists are scared, right? They have but a short time left. You see what I'm saying? So it says, and that's why they're going to come upon us with great wrath. They literally have a short time left. They're being wiped off the face of the earth already as we speak. And they understand this, right? And it says governmental land confiscation from whites, organized violence, and eliminationism in white-founded countries in order to cause the extinction of whites through forced assimilation, right? And they're going to be extinct, not through forced assimilation, right, per se, but they're going to be extinct by the Most High God. That's prophecy in the Bible. And every word of the Most High God is not, none of the words of the Most High God are going to return unto him void. So if he say that so-called white men is going to be extinct, they're going to be extinct, right? And this is why they're doing things like these mass shootings, right? Because they understand they have but a short time on the earth, right? I want to bring that out through the spirit. Go to Revelation 12 and verse 12, and it reads, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, right? It is speaking about the so-called white man in the spirit, right? It's speaking about the spiritual demon Satan, but he's operating through the so-called white man on the highest of levels, right? On the chief level, right? And it says, having great wrath, and he has great wrath, right? Why? Because things like the replacement theory, right? Things like the them believing that they're about to be extinct, them believing that they're being replaced by other nations. You understand? They're having great wrath, right? And that's just on a carnal level. It says, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. You see that? And that's literally how that man that shot up the tops, that's how he felt. He felt like the so-called white race only have a short time. So they feel like, hey, we need to kill off these other races. And chiefly they want to kill off the Israelites, right? And I want to jump down to verse 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. And they're going to make war with us, right? It says, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahushua, right? And they literally feel like they have a short time, and they're going to make war with the saints in these last days. You understand? They're going to make war with the Israelites, right? And chiefly those that's keeping the commandments of the Lord, right? Those that's preaching the true gospel, those that's prophesying the downfall of their nation, right? And you can read about that as well in Second Ezra chapter 16. Salakia. Second Ezra chapter 16, and this whole chapter is good. But this is the point I want. Verse 70, it says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection, meaning a great rising up against, right, upon those that fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? And it says they shall be like mad men. This is speaking about Esau chiefly, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, right? Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So in these last days, right, when it's pretty much you got these heathen making war against the saints. Hey, that's how the Lord is going to know who his chosen is. You understand? So this is prophecy in the Bible that the heathen are going to become enraged, right? They're going to rage, right? And they're going to try to make war with the saints. They're going to try to make war with Israel. You understand? And it's another Salakia. It's another article I wanted to go into, right? So just like they were saying when we read the other article about the Great Replacement Theory, how it became mainstream now. So any white person can read about it and kind of take action, right? Now check this out. This just happened. This is from today. It says deputies arrest Florida man after threatening a school shooting, right? So now you got another so-called white man. And even before this, you had another so-called white man, a damn Edomite, and in Texas that shot up an elementary school. And I believe they said it was 21 dead in that shooting. You understand? And there's no telling what that man was researching. What was his motivation behind it? Because he was killed. But for all we know, he could have been on the same websites as the first Edomite that shot up the tops in Buffalo. You understand? But check this out. It says deputies arrest Florida man after threatening a school shooting. It says detectives have arrested an 18-year-old, and all these men have been 18 years old, right? The first one from the Buffalo shooting, the second one from the Texas shooting, and now this man that was arrested for making threats about a shooting, he was 18-year-old as well, right? And look at his face, man, right? You could tell that's a damn white devil, man, right? And it says detectives has arrested an 18-year-old Florida man after receiving a tip that he threatened a mass shooting at a school in a social media post. The 18-year-old Florida man was arrested after he had posted a photo of himself online surrounded by what appeared to be weapons. Salaki, I'm gonna see if they have the photo. Usually when they have the link, they probably not. Salaki. Bear with me. Yeah, they probably don't have the photo, but I guess he posted a photo of himself online with a bunch of guns around him, right? It says, surrounded by what appeared to be weapons, along with the caption reading, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest school." Right, and hey, this wicked so-called white man thought that was a joke to have a picture with a bunch of guns and say, "Hey Siri, what is the directions to the nearest school, man?" Right? That's wicked, man, and that's off. And it says, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office arrested Corey Anderson. He's facing charges of a written or electronic threat to conduct a mass shooting or act of terrorism. It turned out the handgun and rifle were actually airsoft rifles. Right? It says this type of threat is unacceptable. This man intentionally instilled fear into our community as a sick joke. But be warned, this is no laughing matter. Right? And we know this man have access to actual guns. Right? Whether the picture was fake guns or not, you know this man have access to real rifles, man. Right? To real guns. Right? And it says, yeah, I'm gonna read this because I was just talking about this article as well. I mean, this shooting as well. It says the arrest came days after an 18-year-old entered an elementary school in in Uvalde, Texas, and fatally shot 19 children and 2 teachers. So it was 21 killings. It says the gunman was eventually killed by law enforcement officers some 80 minutes after he entered the classroom in the predominantly Latino, which is Israelites, you understand? Predominantly Latino community that sits among vegetable fields halfway between San Antonio and U.S.-Mexico border. In the Florida case, deputies discovered that the weapons in the photo were airsoft guns, the news release said, right? But the point is, hey, these devils, man, they're coming down with great wrath, right? Because they know they have a short time, right? They're meditating on things like white extinction theory, right? Which is, like I said, it's not really a theory, right? It's not a conspiracy theory because they're going to be extinct. That's said the Lord, right? And now, hey, why is this on this man's mind? Right? Let me take pictures of guns and say, where is the nearest school? Right? Because they're estranged from the womb, man. Right? Let's go to Psalms. So many precepts I could get. But let's get this. And, this is Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. And it reads, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And they're estranged. They're wicked. Hey, man, they're violent from the womb, man. Right? That's what the Lord calls the so-called white man, the violent man in the scriptures. Right? Let me read this. It's Psalms chapter 140 and verse 1, and it reads, deliver me, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. You see that? And that's what they gather together to do. It's for warfare. You understand? Right? And they imagine mischiefs in their heart, man. Right? They can't sleep unless they do some type of mischief. You understand? And it says they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Right? Salah. Keep me, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, from the hands of the wicked. Right? Preserve me from the violent man. Right? So the so-called white man in the scriptures is called the wicked. Right? It's called the violent man. You understand? The evil man. It says, who have proposed to overthrow my goings. And that's what they do, man. They propose to overthrow the goings of the saints, right? The Israelites, right? Psalms chapter 37 and verse 32 says the wicked watcheth over the righteous and seeketh to slay him, man. All right, let's get it, because I kind of paraphrased it. It's Psalms 37 and verse 32. It says the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him, right? So through the Spirit, I just wanted to bring this out because the whole great replacement theory, it goes hand in hand with Revelation 12 and 12 because they know they have a short time, right? They know that they're about to be exterminated from off the face of the earth. One of their theories is literally called white extinction. They know that they're going to be extinct, right? And it's ultimately all the doings and the great works of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? So Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, brothers and sisters got the understanding thereof. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I want to give a mighty shalom to the mighty Akyam Wa Akwat that tuned in and listened to the words of the Lord. Shalom.